Hey buns, today I've got a new interview with Naoki Yoshida to share with you. Now this was posted on Destructoid late last week, and while I am not going to read the whole thing because some of it is frankly boring, I do want to go over the juicy bits. If you want to read the whole thing though, I will put that in the description box down below. So to kick things off, the interviewer, Chris Carter, the reviews director for Destructoid, asked Yoshida how they managed to stuff so much content into every major patch. And the answer is long-term planning, like way in advance. He said that patch 5.3 already had a completed implementation plan before the development of Shadowbringers was complete, even. When I heard this, I remembered how it had been reported that when Yoshida set about the task of saving Final Fantasy XIV originally, he needed to get a lot done in a little time, and he planned out every single task in a spreadsheet that accounted for meetings and bathroom breaks and like every little thing. And I started to wonder, like, is he micromanaging? Is he like a taskmaster, which like cracking the whip on his people? I don't think so, because then he says that he wants to avoid having his recommendations on the plan be the final say. So by planning things out way in advance, he gives himself the time to be able to take the feedback and the suggestions from every division on how they want the specifics to be. He just lays out the groundwork, and he said that because a lot of the content requires at least 2 patch cycles to finish, the development team is always living half a year into the future. He's probably got a time turner hiding under one of those rings. That's the only explanation. The next question, like, no shade on the interviewer, but I just wonder why people ask questions like this. Because he's like, Yoshida, what led to the inclusion of the resurrection immunity timer buff on your character? And why wasn't it sooner? It's just such a small, tiny detail. Like, why? Like, aren't there more bigger things to ask about? But anyway, Yoshida changed the subject almost immediately. With that wasn't the only change we made with this patch, and he pivoted into talking about how they are now giving display priority to your dots on the enemy target bar, how they made some back-end changes to help with server stress and load. And he said, I believe we'll continue to have these small but big surprises in the future. What's a small but big surprise? So even though they're small, you're telling me that they're somehow big. That's a man for you. The next question is much better, asking about the current state of 24-man Alliance raids. And Yoshida surprised me here with his answer. He said that their original goal was to have these raids be large scale and far harder than what we currently have, but they thought players would feel suffocated if we just had high difficulty content. So Alliance raids were positioned as a more casual type of content, even if there were some wipes along the way. This turned out to be well received, and we're also very satisfied with the current difficulty level. I agree to a point. I mean, I feel like there should be some limit to how face roll a 24-man should be. Like, if you're in Puppet's bunker, there can be like maybe only 5 people left alive in one alliance, and you will be able to come back from that. Like, there have been situations where I really felt like we shouldn't have been able to come back from that. And so without any threat of a real wipe, it becomes less interesting, at least to me. That's my personal opinion. I sort of preferred the difficulty that Ivalice raids were at. He was then asked about PvP. Right, and an aspect of the game that is weaker than the PvE parts, I'll put it that way. He said that they've increased the number of PvP modes. Okay. That they're trying to make it more casual and more accessible. And he said, we've seen a steady increase in the overall number of players participating in PvP, especially for Frontline. There are many people that casually enjoy the content. Okay, so do you mean like the daily Frontline roulette that gives a buttload of XP that you can use in PvE content? Is that right? Because I feel like that is not the metric to be judging the success of PvP by. If people are mostly using it to get their daily chunk of XP that has no relevance in PvP at all, and then not going back to do more PvP, I wouldn't say that's real good for PvP. He did say that they do have some future plans in store for PvP. I feel like this will probably be another Frontlines map before the expansion is out, just a guess. You know, Capture the Flag could be fun. I'm just saying. I want to preface this next part by recalling something that Yoshida has been famously quoted on. When a player asked him how do I keep playing your game when I ran out of content to do? I'm taking a break, but is there a reason to keep playing right now? I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was the gist of it. And Yoshida said, it's all right to not play it every day. It's just a game, and there are so many other games out there. So come back and play it to your heart's content when the major patch kicks in, then stop to play other games before you get burnt out. Then come back for another major patch. So this really sent shockwaves through the community because we are so used to modern games that are constantly trying to aggressively monopolize our time, and that put in a ton of RNG heavy grinds that will artificially extend the lifespan of content. Final Fantasy 14 does not do that, to its credit. Like, you can hop in and hop out more or less freely and not get too far behind ever, even though I think some of us wouldn't mind having some more optional grinds. And Yoshida reiterated on that point here in this interview when he was asked about crafting. He said, the dev team doesn't try to force people to play all types of content they bring to the game. By this, I don't mean just crafting and gathering. As a Final Fantasy game, the story is a must. There are battles in the story, so naturally battle content becomes the main element. Modern day gamers are busy with a lot of things outside of playing games. Speak for yourself, buddy. Spending time with family and loved ones, engaging in social media, and the like. Our mindset is to have players pick and choose what they want to play within their schedule, so we never feel like it's being left out. So this is a noble endeavor, I feel, and it is refreshing. But it's also like, what if I want to play your game so much that my fingers bleed? Like, are you telling me that I should not do that? Play other games. He said that crafting is handled by the non-combat team, who also takes care of housing. So it kind of makes sense that the Ishgard residential district is some weird chimera of the two. Though whether or not Ishgard, what we see there in Ishgard will indeed be player housing is a mysterious big question mark. Because from what I could tell, Yoshida has just been dodging questions about it and not officially confirming anything about that, but probably. He was asked about if he would change anything about how the in-game PvE systems work, and he basically said, no, it's fine. I'm oversimplifying here, but that was basically, he was like, oh, it's fine. And finally, he was asked whether the type of content we get in certain patch cycles will change. Considering what we learned earlier, though, about how well planned out in advance everything is, they don't really want to change that because it is working super well and it's making it possible to get out lots and lots of content on major content patches. But he did acknowledge that having the same cycle repeat itself will bring about both predictability and boredom to the players. Stability creates a sense of security, but there is a very fine line between that and boredom. And I'm constantly having an internal debate on this. In order to mitigate that boredom, we've implemented new types of content, such as ultimate difficulty raids and the race for world first that comes along with it, and also brought content like Eureka and Boston Southern Front into existence. Those are all good. Now maybe Mythic Plus next, maybe, please. He said this could be an endless thesis, so we will leave it at this for now. So I thought this actually displayed a lot of self-awareness on Yoshida's part, and it was kind of cool to see him be so candid and admit some of the things that are bothering him, like his internal questions he's struggling with. Like, the predictable patch cycle comes as a result of all the work put into planning way ahead, and it is those schedules that keep the trains running on time, that keep the patch cycles at about 3.5 months, and that allow the time for different teams to be able to give feedback on proposed upcoming content. But the cycle is predictable. Yes, but honestly, I think that the good outweighs the bad here. I mean, so what? If you know that the big raids are going to be coming on even-numbered patches and the odd-numbered patches will have some catch-up content, like, you don't know what those raids and what that stuff is going to actually consist of. Like, I know that because I have planned ahead and I have food in my house, I will have breakfast every morning this week. But I don't know what exactly I will make. So I enjoy the stability and security that the planning has given me, and it is the upcoming content itself that is exciting. Like, will it be blueberry kasha, or will it be peanut butter yogurt with honey and sprinkles? I don't know. I will look forward to it. The content itself is what's supposed to be providing the excitement, I feel, maybe not necessarily when that content is coming, or just knowing the general nature of what will be in those patches. He did mention the Bosnian Southern Front, which will be here this upcoming Tuesday, October 13th, and we also have a live letter happening this Friday. Let me find the times. October 9th at 4 a.m. PDT. I will be restreaming that live as I always do with the live letters. For me, it's going to be 2 p.m. my local time. So that's going to be 11 a.m. GMT. I will put a full link to this entire interview in the description box below so you can go and read through and see maybe there's something that I sort of glossed over that you might find interesting, and come and tell me about it here. Tell me what you think about Yoshida's thoughts here in the comment section down below. Guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow warriors of darkness. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!